brooch I found a number of years ago now, and it's always intrigued me, and I've always called it the coat hanger brooch, and I'll show you why in just a second. But we're going to actually do something rather different with this film. We're going to actually take this brooch back to its original state and condition, and I'll show you the process of how we do that. First off, I'm going to show you the brooch in a little bit more detail. As you can see, when we started cleaning this brooch, it revealed some white paste in one of its eyes. So I think we would have had paste in the top, certainly had paste in the middle, or colouring, and one in the bottom. This brooch has also been made by a Celt, an Iron Age artisan brooch maker, probably for a Romano-British individual. It's got that bold look about it, almost like the Celtic bucket mounts. And we'll now look at the way we can bring this back to life. What an amazing piece. One of the biggest brooches I've ever found. It's a huge lump. Before we start the process of bringing this brooch back to its former glory, there are still areas of the brooch that need cleaning. It was found in really black, dark soil, just like you saw at the start of the film. And there's still areas of this brooch that do need a little bit of attention. So I always use a bit of a wooden skewer, or wooden toothpick would do the job, just to get into the areas, just to get rid of any dirt or residue that might just be lying around the surface of these brooches. You can do it with all artifacts. You can see the mud on my finger here coming off. There's also a bit of iron staining going on there where the pin would have been. The pin's obviously long gone, and you can just be gentle and just pick away at the mud. There you go, look at that's coming off. The brooch is nice and dry. Lots of different colourings, iron colours, iron staining, black, soil, and then we can take it to the next process. So as you can see, the brooch has had quite a lot of debris removed from its grooves and hidden away in its little crevices and its corners and everywhere else. It might not look a lot, but that's quite a lot of debris removed, and soil and dust and dirt removed. There's a gingery brown staining that's come off the lower end of the brooch, and this dark soil that was removed from the grooves. So there's two different tonings going on there, but it was found in really dark, almost peaty like soil. The next job is to apply some Renaissance wax. Now the brooch is dry, it's stable, and it's just ready to be coated. A little bit of the wax on my fingers. I just warm it gently and apply it to the brooch. Just nice and easy. Just covering the areas of the brooch that you need to be protected, because this actually started to get some dry spots on it. So while the brooch is just gently drying off nicely from its coat of wax, let's go and look at why I call it the coat hanger brooch. And that's the reason why I call it the coat hanger brooch, because something reminds me very much of the coat hanger that's hiding and resting behind my bathroom door. So here we enter a very interesting stage of the brooch. We're going to try to bring it back to its former glory, and I'm going to be using this and a small knife. So just gently, just scraping a little bit of wax off. As you can see, just gently got some wax there, and I'm going to show you now what I'm going to do with that wax. That's the red colouring in the top eye. We've got white paste still in the middle, and we're going to use blue for the lower one. Now, it could have been that the brooch had white in every single one of them, but with white remains of white paste being in that middle section, why not mix it up? Red, white and blue. Let's have a look. So little slithers of the wax applied into the holes or the eyes of the brooch, and as you can see on the bottom we've got blue, white, red at the top. My hands are very slippy with all the wax that's been going on. And now just let that dry and settle just for an hour or two, and then we go on to the next stage of the process. So the next job is to make a pin to resemble the original pin that fitted the brooch. So I'm actually going to use this. Let's have a look. So I've measured it out. Fits perfectly. The next stage is this. Trying to make the pin look as authentic as possible. Could actually use a wax if you wished. The end of the pin, or the pretend pin, just needs filing down so it fits into the brooch perfectly. So it took some doing the pin, the mock pin. Brown didn't really sort of make it stand out too well, so I got a darker shade. A felt tip pen, scoured the wooden pin up a little bit so the marker pen would stick to it a bit better, and I put a darker colour on it and fixed it in place, filed it down a little bit, and it probably looks something like it would have done now way back 2000 years ago. I'm happy with that. It just goes to show that you can bring these little items back to life if you spend a little bit of time and effort trying to recreate the past. I hope that you enjoyed this little film of the brooch. Still needs a little bit of work, still needs a little bit more wax and a little bit more attention to the colours. So the coat hanger brooch, as I call it, in all its glory, is back to how it looked all those years ago. Fantastic. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it.